Hello. Are we live? Looks like we're live. Let's knock on Brian's door, see if he'll join us. Close that and that. How's everybody doing today? We are live today talking Glass Onion once Brian and Will get here. Boop, boop. Yeah, I think we can just close all of those. Hello, wonderful D. Welcome, Omega Man. How you guys doing? Collaboration settings, invite guests, share chat. There we go. Start sharing chat. Perfect. Let's, no offense, close Brian's thing. Just it seems to make my computer run a little bit smoother if it's not open. And we'll go from there. How you guys doing? I hope you're all having a wonderful Thursday. I was home sick with my youngest. I wasn't sick, she was. But there's a small possibility she's giving me whatever disease she has. So that's lovely. You'll love to see it. Is Brian? No, Brian's not here yet. Okay. What is up, wonderful D? What's up, Omega Man? Good to see you. Sifu Shan. Let's jump in. Oh, there's Will. Good day, sir.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let's see. Brian has joined us on Twitch, but he's not here yet on Restream. I'm assuming he's just logging, switching over.
He's chatting away. He doesn't know what's going on.
That sounds about right. We are live, just so you don't say anything untoward.
Piss shit. Fuck.
Ah, why? No, I don't care about that. I think it's just the lobbies you're in. Mine are all PG and sunshine. Must be nice. All right. What am I looking for? Oh, right. I have to get the actual charts and stuff up.
Charts and stuff. Should we get Run to bring up the board today?
Bring up the board?
Yeah, being like, hey, this is what we do. Here's our board of rankings, and let's see where Glass Onion lands us today. You know, just force it on him.
Why not? Yeah, I wanna come up with a good way, and there's not going to be one, but I want to come up with a good way of like advertising, like, oh yeah, by the way, we're on podcast form, like relatively early on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But like discussing also the actual format of the show is always a good thing. Let people know what they're in for overall. That's really. Why do I see? Oh, because I'm in gamer mode. There we go.
Oh, gamer mode. Full gamer
just a
mode.
little more relaxed.
Right. You don't want to be too comfortable while you're podcasting.
Well, not if I'm on air. People can see me and look at me. So I still feel like I'm really low on the camera. I knocked my camera around a little bit, and so it might not be exactly where I want / need it to be. That's definitely not where I want it to be. That's not bad. Maybe zoom out a little bit, but that's not bad. Sure, whatever. What have you been up to this week?
The mother-in-law's in town, so it's been just kind of wild. And then there was a snow day today, so no school. Just, your average random happenings.
Is your mother-in-law being in town the stereotypical situation? You guys get along okay, or do you not want to say on the air? You don't have to say on the air.
No.
Yeah, let me just put you on the hotspot.
No, it's fine. She came to surprise Strong Boy for his birthday with a little visit. So she's here for about a week, and they're hanging out and having fun. So it's good.
Coming in from what, Alberta or?
Alberta, yep, that's correct.
Nice. What's up, Bridget? Good to see you, Zero Justice. We are both on Mongooli's stream. I don't have a game or anything set up for today, by the way. Did you put this on YouTube? Mongoolie show? I don't recall you pushing that much. If so, I think you could have a video explaining things featured on the YouTube channel. Good day, sir.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
not too much. Are you supposed to be coming at us from that angle?
I was just kind of look and see what this looks like.
You look great.
It's all right. Maybe if I was like a little bit fuller in the screen in there. It also
I would love more of you on screen.
Yeah, it'd be cooler if I could get the actual. Like, this is green screened out, but there's nothing to go behind it, so it's black, of course. Right. So that's kind of weird. It'd be kind of cool if I could get that. But let me just switch it to the scene I have actually set up.
If you were taller,
wow.
Well, no, like on screen, like if you go back to the screen you were just on, if you were a little higher up in frame, you've got a little bit of a green halo going on in your hair.
Yeah.
But like if you got rid of the green halo, we're a little bit higher up and maybe not wearing black because your background is entirely black.
Right.
So you popped a little bit more. I think that actually looks really solid. Like I love the 7 in the background with the lighting.
I think it looks good too. But let's see if I can't get my chair up a little bit more. And then I'd have to just scoot up closer to the camera, which is kind of weird. And I can't get rid of the green halo because the camera's kind of crap. It's a really old phone that I'm using. And when I do the overspill, it starts to just make me transparent at that. Yeah. Like this is the maximum I can get out of it.
I mean, look, I'm the last person that should be bragging on other people's setups, but it was just that like, I just like the look of your background. I like that 7 that you did. I was just,
I want to use the damn thing, man. I built it. I want to use it. Can you see down there in the bottom corner where it melted right here?
Oh, barely. Yeah.
If you hadn't pointed it out, I wouldn't have noticed.
Right.
Now I'll notice it every time.
It's kind of cool. But it legit got so hot in the studio, it made the oil-based paint melt. All right, we'll go back to my old Knives Out one. It has less of the green spillover, and then I got to adjust my seat here. Here we go.
Yeah, get you right in the middle of those knives.
That's right. Got to have those daggers on point. Sorry.
All good. You were discussing some stuff when I was in your chat about new games coming out and like the state of things, as well as Twitch numbers being down and all that stuff being down. I was wondering if you want to continue that conversation. You kind of got out what you wanted to say.
Oh, I mean, yeah. What I was pointing out was that the two reasons that Twitch numbers are down a bit is primarily because they did that sweep of the bots. So there's much less viewership bots in our channels. And I know I had a chunk of them floating in mine that I never bothered to clear out. And some streamers know that they're in there and don't do anything about it, like me, because I'm lazy. And other streamers don't understand that that's happening to them. So I don't even know how that affects, but they're not there anymore. So that dropped some numbers, but the actual true numbers have tapered or plateaued, but definitely not grown, but have actually come down from 2024 and 2025 into 2026. But as I said, Twitch remains still the biggest streaming platform out there. And the other thing was that it's competing with TikTok and Kick, which is gaining a little bit of steam.
I find, for me personally, obviously very small percentage point, my Twitch audience is still pretty much what it was. So like if I had bots, I didn't lose very many. YouTube, I kind of get views after the fact, but I don't get a lot of live chatters, and especially not live people who are actually saying hello. If you're out there from YouTube or Kick right now, say hi. Kick, my numbers keep going up because I force follows, so you can only comment if you're a follower. So even all those stupid bots that are like, hey, we can promote you or whatnot, at least they have to follow me to do it. I see no actual people on Kick. I think I've had one fan on Kick this entire time.
Right. They basically follow you just to say what an asshole you are, and then they bounce. Yeah.
Not quite, but like kind of. But I think Kick is better for already established people. Like if you can go to Kick and bring your audience with you, my understanding is the Kick numbers are actually better or more skewed towards the streamer as opposed towards the platform.
Right.
But like the discoverability, if you think discoverability is bad on Twitch, it is non-existent on Kick.
Right? Yeah. If I may, I would kind of like to pivot to a different set of numbers that's being talked about right now, which is a huge lawsuit coming out of the UK towards Steam. It's in American dollars, it's roughly $900 million. And they're saying that Steam is bad for the consumer. And I want to plant my flag right here and now. And I'd like to say that I love Steam. I think it's absolutely great for the consumer. They had my back when they shut down an attempt to bring in advertising in mid-games that are sold on Steam. And I was very happy that they turned down the opportunity to make a bunch of money off of in-game advertising on their games that they promote, so that we, the consumer, could go there and play video games uninterrupted and not have to deal with that nonsense.
Yeah.
So
they say there's something like 14 million people who have signed that petition. I'd love to meet 5 of them. I
would
can't
too,
wrap my
yeah.
head around the fact that any of those are real people. It's the guy from Borderlands, that company. The head up of there is one of the people like forcing this issue, and it's like, yeah, because nobody bought and played your game.
yeah,
Sorry, that's not Steam's problem. And they're
Right.
like, well, why don't people use Epic? Because Epic sucks. I'm sorry, it's a bad platform. It's not
is.
nearly as good
It's
as Steam is.
super clunky
Like,
comparatively.
yeah, it's
They're
janky.
literally giving games away for free, and I will often look at them and go like, oh, I should buy that and buy it on Steam instead. Steam
Right.
is forcing me
Just-
with like,
Just because
that's
I'd
where
rather
I
not
go.
through their launcher. Yeah, I'd rather pay a couple bucks than go through their janky launcher.
Absolutely. The only
think
thing
the-
I've ever played on the Epic Game Store, not ever, but the only thing I've played more than once is Fortnite, and it's because you literally can't play it anywhere else. And even
That's
then, I
it.
mostly played on the PlayStation
That
because it
is
just
the
runs
only
better on the
reason
PlayStation.
I have Epic is so that I can play Fortnite with my kids. That is it.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
it's-
I'm a ride or die for Steam. I have not said a bad thing about them yet. I just think they're fantastic, and I
they're
can't wrap
like,
my head around
"Look,
14 million
Steam
people being
takes
anti
a
them.
30% cut of all the games sold there. And I'm like, so if they were to put up $100 game and not take 30% of that, what do you think the consumer is going to still pay? $100. It's just more of it's going to go to the producer. It does. I don't care where that 30% goes. I know I'm still going to be paying it as a consumer. So let them take 30% from the producer who's putting it up there. That's fine with me. I don't care.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's the same amount of money is going to come out of your account. It's just some
Yeah.
of it's going to go to them, or all of it is going to go to the game.
Yeah,
developer.
and since they're not allowing advertisements, I'm so stoked that 30% is going to them. I'd say take 40%. I don't care. You guys are keeping advertisements off your platform. Good on you, Steam. I'm sticking with you. I hope this lawsuit goes away. I'm blown away that people are even thinking. Yeah, like you said, I'd like to meet 5 people that are signed that petition.
And like, it's all the little things that Steam does. I'm sorry, we're not like the Glazing Steam podcast, but here we are, where they will tell you things like the overall ranking of a game, like it is overwhelmingly positive, versus the recent, like the last 6 months. So if there was an update that made the game way better, it basically will tell you that. Like, no, like overall, people didn't really like this game, but recently people are really liking it. You can look into why that is, or vice versa. Maybe they put out a patch that destroyed the game.
A fantastic metric for consumers.
Like little things like that no other platform I've seen does, makes it so much nicer.
Yep. I have nothing but positive things to say about Steam, and to hear that lawsuit coming out against them, I was just like, what is this? Please don't ruin my favorite gaming platform.
I was shocked when I heard about it.
And they were like,
this can't be real.
They're one of the things was they're monopolizing the industry, and it was like, how do you get that?
They're only monopolizing the industry because the industry loves them.
Yeah.
They are not buying other companies to get rid of them, like we're seeing with the movie companies currently, where like, Warner Brothers just essentially disappeared. We lost Fox a couple of years ago. Like, that's not what's happening. Steam is just better than all those other companies, so they can't keep up. That's not a monopoly. That is you being good at your job.
Yeah. And I understand that certain companies can get so big that they have such a huge market share that they suddenly have power and become a monopoly. And maybe something needs to be stepped in and done with there, but not with Steam. Maybe they're big and maybe they are a monopoly just because they were so good and own such a huge market share. But I'm still happy with how they're doing. They're beating the pants off of everybody by competing against them in a fair marketplace and winning, and I'm just all for it.
It's like saying the NFL has a monopoly because the XFL sucks. No, the XFL just sucks. Like,
that's a great
this is not the same thing. But
yeah, wonderfully. I think it's up to other platforms to step up and offer the consumers a better experience or better value. I don't think Steam is forcing devs to publish on their platform. Exactly. Yep.
Oh my goodness. So I had, changing topics drastically. I had today off because I was with my daughter who was sick and there was nobody else that could look after her. So I was home today. I think I'm starting to come down with something, but whatever. I wasn't homesick per se. I was just home. There was nothing going on all day.
Yeah.
And then took a little bit of a nap with my kid, watched Coco. And when I woke up, there is a new Spider-Man Noir trailer out. There is a new Castlevania trailer out. There's a new God of War trailer out. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, wow.
So like right before I went live, I did reaction videos for all 3 of those things because I'm just like, where were these at noon? Come on, guys.
Right.
So those aren't live
Well-
yet, but they'll hopefully be live by tomorrow morning. I'm going to try and edit as soon as we're done here.
Put the Spider-Man Noir reaction up tonight, please. I want something else to watch when I go to bed.
It's the first one that I'm going to work on because the reaction trailers have done very well on the YouTube channel, !mark movies, if you want to go check those out right now. Those have all done very, very well for me, so I will definitely getting that as quickly as possible. I've never done a trailer reaction for a video game, but Castlevania, like Metroidvania, like that's like my bread and butter, and the God of War game is also a Metroidvania, which is weird in a new direction for the franchise. So I decided, like, what the heck? They're both small trailers. I'll put them in one video and see how that does. Who knows? But it was just like 3 things I really care about all on the same day. God damn. We're eating good today. I just wish we were eating lunch instead of dinner. All right. I don't have a game or anything set up for that. That being said,
I mean, it's 9:00. We can just jump into rating this thing if you guys want to. Just chatting about current events and movies and video games is fine warm up for me.
Yeah, I'm good with whatever.
Yes, D, I did see that. That's how I knew about it, so I appreciate the heads up. The reason I was doing it recently is because I had that nap watching Coco, and then I made dinner and hung out with my wife, and that was like, okay, now I finally have 10 minutes to try and record something ridiculously fast. All right, Will, obviously we'll start with you. Brian, I'm putting you a little bit on the spot here, but it's Will's idea, so blame him.
Whoa.
Do you want to, yeah. It's all live, buddy. He can go back and check the VOD. I got receipts.
Nobody's checking any VODs. You know that as well as I do.
I know. Do you want to do an intro for like the board at the very end kind of a thing? Like talk about how the show works and stick around to the very end to see the rating of the board. This was all your idea like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, right. The hook the end in the beginning to get people to stay around for retention purposes. Yeah. I hadn't thought anything about this, but I could give it a shot and just be
can also give you a week and you can do it next week if you'd be more comfortable.
Give me a week, would you? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Today's not.
Give him a week,
day
Dan.
for me to
Jeez, by golly.
You can even, if you really want, you could even make like a 20-second video and I could just have it on restream and then I could just click the video every week and just do that. Or you can do it live, whatever you want to do.
I might do that. I don't know. I'll come up with something good. Today's not the day for me to be thinking off the cuff. Today was a long day of just putting out fires and running frantically, and it's been a hectic week actually.
Fair enough. All right, let's jump into this. Open up the curtain, throw to Will.
Open up the curtain, throw it to Will. Gonna do Glass Onion. All right, Glass Onion 2022. With the world shut down due to pandemic and nothing to do, world-renowned investigator Benoit Blanc jumps at the invite to a murder mystery party weekend with complete strangers, just for the chance to scratch his investigative itch.
Very nice. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Our Rating, the show where I take a movie franchise, break it down by movie, give it a... Wow, how did I fuck that up? We've done this so long. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Our Rating, the show where I get together with 2 of my friends. We take a movie franchise, break it down by film, throw it up on the board, and see where they land compared to the other movie franchises. This week, we're talking about Glass Onion, and I'm joined, as always, by Will and Brian. Brian, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Will, how are you?
Happy, happy, happy.
Excellent. Now, my understanding, because we talked about Knives Out last week, this is both of your first time viewing for Glass Onion. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, I had seen this one before. We did a rewatch in the watch party section of the Discord. Brian and I did it along with a couple of our viewers. That was a lot of fun. What were your first impressions coming to this movie after seeing Knives Out so recently?
I was excited to see the next installation. I just had never gotten around to it. I had no reason not to watch this when it came out, aside from it just, kind of slipped past. And so I was happy that we were doing it here, and I was excited to watch it.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, I didn't realize I had seen the original Knives Out and so I watched it again and then again. I think I watched it a total of like 4 times over the course of when it first arrived on streaming platforms, because I never did see it in theaters. However, I knew we were going to do this as a franchise, so I held off on watching Glass Onion and Wake the Dead, or the third movie, whatever it's called.
Wake Up Dead Man.
Wake Up Dead Man. I still haven't seen that yet. So this one was highly anticipated for me coming into it.
Very nice. I had seen this one before. Why are you laughing at that?
Just I could see the hesitation in his face there. He was highly anticipating it.
Yeah, hang in there. We get to a rating where you can see where these post up on a board compared to other franchises and where this movie compares to its predecessor and so on. So you'll see all that coming up. And I'm going to let us unfold this, the layers of this onion, as it were, a bit before I go throwing everything out there.
Very nice. I'm sure we won't overuse that analogy at all during this.
Yep.
So I watched this one when it first came out. This one, I believe, did not come to theaters. I believe this was a Netflix exclusive. So it came out directly on Netflix. I watched it with my wife, and I feel like I liked it at the time. This is not my genre, as we discussed the last 2 weeks. But I feel like I liked it well enough. Like, it was kind of silly and ridiculous, and it kind of played into itself. Watching this the second time, I kind of realized like how much it played into itself, like how silly it got. Right. And one of the things we talked about with with Knives Out, was how incredible it was that they tied everything together. Everything made sense. All of the little details. I probably missed a bunch, but I didn't feel like this one tied itself up in quite the same neat little bow that Knives Out did. It felt like there were things that were kind of thrown in to be weird, as opposed to be part of the plot. Would you agree with that? Or do you think that it felt like the self-contained perfect movie that, well, not perfect, but incredible movie that Knives Out was? Or was it a little bit more loose?
I feel what you're saying. Like, the thing is, with a lot of different murder mystery type tropes, this one has some of those that Knives Out didn't, but it doesn't add as well to the story. Like red herrings. The dude that's just on the beach hanging out is just a total red herring throughout the whole movie. Whether you like him or not, doesn't matter. He's there. So in rewatching and things like that, those are details in this movie that don't really add to replayability or rewatchability, not in the same way, whereas Knives Out felt like so well crafted in its story, its characters, and every detail. I felt that this one was more of a stereotypical murder mystery, which doesn't lend well to rewatchability as much.
I can agree with that. I felt like in the previous film, which you can find on YouTube, by the way, if you haven't seen that review, I felt like there were no throwaway lines in that movie. Every single word uttered in that film, even stuff that you thought was just background chatter, was important and relevant to the story. Where in this one, there is a lot of silly, absolutely pointless stuff. Some things which were painful to see and witness again. They had a bunch of COVID references where people were wearing masks, and it had nothing to do with the story, and it was completely unnecessary. We had, the guy that was just there that never played a point. It was kind of funny, but because the first movie was so intricately woven, I just knew that guy would have some role in the film. But as you said, Clean, it was a red herring. It was nothing. And there was a lot of just like chatter and babble that had no point being in the film. People running around in circles or complaining about things that weren't relevant. And I kept waiting for it to have some sort of importance, but it was more of a waste of time.
I will say I really liked Daryl. Like, he was one of the weird throwaway nonsense things that made me chuckle pretty much every time he was on screen. Just his character be like, "Oh, hey, I'm not here. Ignore me." I don't know why. It just made me laugh. And then at the very end, when Benoit Blanc is just sitting with him, like having a cigar and just laughing at all the chaos.
For the boat, yeah.
Yeah, I really, that one did land for me. There was a lot of other things where I'm just like, why is Hugh Grant in this? Why is Ethan Hawke in this? Like, what? Like, these major actors for these one lines. The COVID thing at the very beginning probably made more sense in 2022, where you're like, why aren't these people wearing masks? Oh, like this guy's got the cure for COVID apparently in a
Yeah, you're
Squirt
good.
gun.
You're good
Yeah.
was the line.
which was one of those like in 2022 that probably worked, but watching it in 2026 is like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
That
I didn't want to be
sucks.
reminded of that. I go to the theater to escape reality, not be reminded of it, and that was just it. It didn't have importance to the film, and so it really wasn't necessary, and it dated the film, and it wasn't relevant to me watching it at this period in time, and it was. I just didn't like it. It didn't jive with me.
Well, if you wanted to escape reality, this is a good movie for it because nothing in this movie makes any sense. From the it looked like it was an ice dock that they made.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was glass, or it was glass because everything's glass there, right?
That makes more sense because I was like, wouldn't like ice would float, but okay, whatever.
The piece of shit. The piece of shit.
Yeah, it's the piece of shit. The car rotating outside of his glass onion, the glass onion itself just being a reference to some bar that they were at.
I did like the line. Why is it on the roof? Well, there's nowhere to drive it on an island. Like, that was pretty funny. Just the absolute luxurious wealth being wasted was kind of humorous, but pointless also.
Well, it seemed like it only existed so that Benoit Blanc would know what kind of car he drove. Like that is the entire reason they had that on the side of his onion rotating for no reason, is just so Benoit Blanc would be like, oh, he drives that kind of a car, so that later on he'd know it. But like, there's so many other ways around that. Like it just felt unnecessarily silly. The hourly dong was, I'm sure, supposed to be hilarious or fit into the plot in some way, but like, the Mona Lisa constantly closing and opening, like obviously that did play a part at the end, but it was also just like, okay, just stop that noise, please.
Yeah, they so overshadowed that one. It was a bit much. I will say, when he said, I want my name to be with the Mona Lisa in history, I really liked how that came together at the end. I knew something was going to happen with the painting because they overshadowed the door going up and down. I didn't really see what was coming, but it was a good finish for me, the way that she made his wish come true. You know, curls the monkey paw.
Yeah. All they had to do really was just prove that there was a way to open the door. Like, he's such a egotistical prick that like he had to put a way to be able to see it without the glass in the way. That was good enough for me. I didn't need every cell phone ding to open and close it, but whatever. That's a pretty minor thing. It was just one of those like, why are we doing this? This is everything in Knives Out felt like it had a purpose. And there was a lot of things in this movie where I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? And maybe watching it 4 or 5 times, I'll figure out the answer to that question. But watching it twice, I have no idea.
And Will, with this being your first viewing of the film, did the previous film set expectations for you going into this? Because it certainly did for me.
I mean,
and I think that was detracted from this one.
Sure, I think that happens with all franchises, right? You always want the second one to be as good, hopefully, as the first. Although I always try to temper those expectations because rarely is that the case. That said, I mean, they did such an amazing job in the first movie, Rian Johnson and crew, that I found it hard to believe that this one could come to the same level, especially because I think Rian Johnson worked for like 9 years or something on the first movie, the script and everything, getting it going. And then this one came shortly after that when Netflix is like, here's a bunch of money, let's get going. And on top of that, the pandemic hit. And so that probably altered a whole bunch of things, which is, you know, why it kind of seeped into the writing. And I didn't mind that maybe as much as you did, Brian. I thought it was kind of funny how we get to see the rich and luxurious handle the pandemic in a very different way than everybody else has to. And I thought it was a little bit on point, maybe a little accurate. It didn't bring back horrible memories or anything like that for me. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't expecting this one to be as good. And I don't think it was as good at the end of the day, you know, playing my hand a little, but sure. I still had fun.
I think we're all playing our hands a little bit. So
I didn't expect this one to be as good either, but because the first one interwove every aspect of itself so well, I kept waiting for the things that seemed nonsensical to have purpose, and they didn't. And so that was a bit of a letdown for me. And had I Had I just seen this movie first, I think I might have enjoyed it a lot more for its silliness and the things that it did point out. I did love how they were pointing out the exuberant wealth being wasted on some of these idiots and the greed. I think it was a great showcasing of that. It's just so much of it was meant to just kind of be silly and for laughs and not much more else. And I was looking deeper and there wasn't any more layers to that aspect of the film.
I mean, it is called Glass Onion, so I think I think it's partly on purpose. A lot of
I guess
things,
so. Yeah,
right?
It's got layers because you can see right through it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's meant to be a little more the case, everything that how it unfolds, the characters are all a little more hollow in this, and I think that's a purposely done thing. Whether you like that or not is obviously you're up to your taste in Onion, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good things as well.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. We've been ragging on this movie a little bit, but there's a lot of good here as well. And one of the things you kind of glazed over there for a second is the cast. I think the cast in this one is absolutely insane. Even the side nothing characters, like the IMDb is a who's list. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Getting in even like Serena Williams for like one scene, which was actually fairly funny. Ethan Hawke for like one scene. Hugh Grant for like one scene. Like all these characters, these major actors or celebrities at least, for basically a nothing role. Like Serena Williams kind of made sense that it was her because it's showing off how much money he's willing to waste with one of the like highest paid professional athletes going, kind of a thing. But even the main cast, like Daniel Craig, obviously, Ed Norton, Kate Hudson, Catherine Hahn, Dave Bautista, like just a stacked cast of characters that I actually really did enjoy watching. I think nobody lives up to the high height that is Chris Evans, insert joke here. But as an overall, I think I like this overall cast a little bit more.
Really?
So
I don't know.
I enjoyed this
I don't know about
cast
that.
a lot and thought they did a good job, but I think they were just a point or two behind the previous cast. Same thing with Janelle Monáe being our heroine of the film, doing an excellent job, adorable in her innocence, but also captivating in her determination to get her revenge, which was a little bit different spin on that style of character. So she made it uniquely hers, and it was great. So I don't have any complaints over it for sure. But if we're going to go side by side, I would say the slight edge goes to the previous film's cast.
I guess I'll clarify my point. I think the main two actors in the first movie, Anna de Armas and Chris Evans, leagues better than this one. But in the cast as a whole, I like this one.
Yeah, I'll go in a different direction, saying I like the characters in the first movie better. The actors, I think, did great across the board, but I think I just enjoyed the characters more in the first movie, and maybe that's because I enjoy the setup more on the first one. Like it's all in one place, whereas this one's like the opposite. This one is like grabbing characters from everywhere and then bringing them together. Where the other movie, it's like the typical murder mystery in one house and then gets separated out into a different genre. But I just like and they're all caricatures really in the movies, but I just seem to gravitate towards the first movies characters. And I don't know. I don't know why. I just did.
Could it be that they focused a bit more on, you called them hollow. I think shallow is a better term for most of the characters in this film, because they were all just there on greed. And though every character, just like in the first one, every character had a twist where you think they're doing one thing, there's actually something else going on, and Blanc has to figure out the motive based on that. In this one, I did feel like it was a little bit more like there's no way you're ever going to see this coming, and it would change and flip, especially with Bautista, Duke's character. When he's standing outside and seeing his girlfriend getting frisky with Ed Norton's character, you think one thing, and then later it is something completely different, but still amazing how the emotion came across. Like it was the same emotion both times, but it was a different reason for it. It was very interesting, but there's no way you would see that flip coming. And there were so many of those in the characters that zero foreshadowing to give you a hint or smooth that intricate flip in. It just, you thought it was one thing, it was something completely different.
Right.
almost twists for twist's sake, as opposed to actually
Yeah,
furthering the plot.
that's a good way to say it, yes.
So I guess
there was
going-
also a
Oh, go
moment
ahead.
where, with Janelle Monáe's characters, if you will, where they did the same thing where they're like, okay, you think you know what's going on? Let's go back and show you what's actually happening. They did it in the first movie and it was great. They did it in this one and it went on for so long that it was actually jarring when it went back to the present day. And you're like, oh, right. Yeah, no, that was the past. Like you're in that for what feels like 25 minutes. And it's just like, you almost start thinking that's the movie you're watching. And then you're like, snap back to, they're on the steps at night and you're like, oh, right. Yeah. No, where was I? What's going on? Oh, she just got shot. Okay, cool. Yeah. It was the same trick, but not as masterfully done, I think.
I agree. Part of that reasoning being in the first movie, it was in the first half hour. This movie, it's like halfway through the movie. The other issue is with the character herself, Helen. We don't really get to know her until halfway through the movie. And she's like the protagonist of the movie. So you don't have as much time to relate with her, and root for her. Whereas in the first movie, you're rooting for the lead right out of the gate. And I just feel like that was a big missing factor in this movie, is that I didn't really root for her. Even at the end, like she's being a badass bitch, which is great. But I'm like, I'm not as invested in it, even though like she deserves all the investing. She's had horrible things done to her and she deserves her, righting the wrongs, but it just didn't click in the same way as the first movie.
I'll go one step further on you. The first movie, you have the murder right off the bat.
Sure.
We don't even know who dies until like an hour into this.
That felt painfully long before the plot thickened. And I was like, what's happening? What am I here for? When is something going to take place? It did take too long to turn that corner.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I didn't dislike the idea. Like when she breaks the box apart, like she's just, I'm not going to play your effing game. You don't obviously know who she is at that point, but you're like, okay, I kind of like that. That's kind of fun. And then her taking it to Benoit Blanc and being like, I don't know what this is. Like, here, help me out. What we got to do. Like, I did like everything they did with that, except for maybe the execution of how they presented it to you.
Yeah.
Like it just took a bit too long to get to that. And it took too long to explain all of that because it doesn't make any sense. The first movie made enough sense. You get it. You get the idea of all of his kids and grandkids want to take him out so they can get the money. You understand the plot of the nurse messing up the meds and thinking that it's on her. He kills himself. Spoilers for a movie you're not watching the review of. All of that works. And then you get to this movie and it's so convoluted. Not bad necessarily, but just requires a lot of explanation just to get you to where you already were. And you're like, okay, now I can start watching the movie I was already watching and have some semblance of an idea of what's going on.
Yeah. The murder happened a week prior to them entering the island, and we don't even know that until 55 minutes into the film. Yeah. And then we have to decide, who done it and why. So it was a tough one. Also, I would like to say that the twin sibling thing, I've never enjoyed that plot device. I think it is terrible. I would say that Glass Onion probably does the best job with it of any movie I've ever seen. Still not a fan. They did it really well, but it always just feels so cheap to use the twin sibling thing. So
there is, sorry, before you move on, there's one movie with a twin in it that I like more than this. Actually, quite a bit more than this. I won't spoil that because it is a huge part of the movie. You can message me if you want to let you know, but if you know, I guess.
Slide into Dan's DMs, everybody. This is your invite.
Dan, I think I know the movie
the Discord
about. Yeah.
Discord probably is in the description.
Actually, the R-rating Discord is not in the description. Then we need to fix that. But whatever. The other thing you were about to say is, as a father of twins, not only will I say I can tell the difference between my identical twins, but like their friends can too.
Yeah.
So the idea that like if she was trying to play it up to people who didn't know her, or people like if she was a celebrity but nobody met her in person, that's one thing. But you're going to tell me that her business partner couldn't tell the difference between her and her sister?
Yeah.
That strikes me as unlikely.
It's supposed to have been 4 to 6 months since she was outcast from the group. So there is a period of time there. And when she arrives on the dock at the boat, she is staying away from everybody, not saying anything. She's motion sickness on the boat, so she's pretending to just be angry and aloof from everyone. And so there is that, which was a nice angle to try and tamper what you said, Dan. Still doesn't really work. I was the same thing. As soon as it's twin sibling, I'm like, really? They didn't notice? Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of odd things that come up. Like, they also said that the sisters were very close, and yet nobody really thought
they didn't even know she had one.
Like nobody really cared about the twin sister at all or knew. It was just like there's a lot of like
point.
You have to, in this movie specifically compared to the other one, you have to really just let a lot of things slide. Whereas I felt you didn't have to do that in the first one as much.
I never even put that together, but you're right. She's close friends with these people, or she was close friends with these people. It never once came up she had a twin sister. None of them.
I mean, close friends. I mean, none of them really feel like they're close friends, to be honest. Like, they all just seem like they're using him for his money and clinging on when and if they have to.
Otherwise, think back at the Glass Onion, they were close friends. At the bar, the Glass Onion, they were actually close friends, but then they all just became money-grubbing assholes.
Well, and that's after Edward Norton's character comes in. They were all friends, and then they introduced Miles Braun to the group.
Yeah,
and that's what kind of elevated them to different
Cassandra brought him in, right? Which is also a lot of people are like, why? What did anybody see in this guy? Because, you know, by the end, he's a complete a-hole idiot loser. Like, but why? Why did they gravitate towards him? I mean, Edward Norton is amazing and performs amazing in this movie, but for what we hear and learn about him, why are you with this guy? Why are you around this dude?
Yeah, I don't know why she liked him. We did have where he helped each individual person gain some social standing or wealth in some way, and so then they appreciated him. And then, of course, he stole the idea away from Andy and got super duper rich off of it and cut her out. But why did she go for him in the first place? Because he really didn't have anything. He just manipulated other people well.
Yeah. It's possible that she was just such a nice person that she saw an outcast and invited her to the group, kind of a thing. I don't know, and I'm not going to go too deep in the weeds on that, but who knows? There is a line in this movie, and I had to write it down as soon as I heard it because I just absolutely love it. Because I have a pretty major pet peeve, and I've had friends who say these kind of things where they're like, "Oh, I'm just a straight talker. I'm just going to tell you the truth," or I'm. Like, literally, I have a friend who would brag about being a bitch. And I'm like, why would you brag about that? I don't understand it. And at one point, Benoit Blanc just straight up calls her out. She's like, oh, I speak the truth and people can't handle that. It's a dangerous thing to confuse speaking without thought to speaking the truth. I love that line so much. Like, the writing in this is pretty solid overall. As much as the characters are idiots, they're written really well as being idiots.
Yeah.
100%. Well, that's the thing. It's like, we all really enjoyed the first one. Some of our ratings reflect that a little better than others. But it's hard to fault this movie for bad writing or bad directing or bad cinematography. Like, all those things are still really good in this movie. It's just we're coming off the high of the first one. And so it does seem to feel like it falls a bit short comparatively. But we're just critiquing it hard because that's what we do when it comes to the franchises, right? And we want it to be as good as the first. We want to pick and prod at it. There was right off the bat when we meet Benoit again in his tub, like, you can tell he's totally depressed, super funny. He's playing Among Us, which I thought was hilarious because, again, it plays into the pandemic. Everybody's just online with their friends, and his friends are epic. We've got Angela Lansbury from Murder, She Wrote, amazing. We've got Stephen Sondheim from he wrote a movie, co-wrote, I think, The Last of Sheila, which is a similar kind of plot to this movie. Everybody goes on to a yacht for a getaway to do like a scavenger hunt, and it goes awry. And then we've got Natasha Lyonne, who stars in Point Break. Well, no, not Point Break. What is it called? Poker Face. Also created by, what's his name? Rian Johnson. And it's like a murder mystery type TV series. And then we've got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was like, what is he doing there? He was the only one. I was like, wait, why is he in this group? But I looked it up, and he was in a movie called Fletch, starring Chevy Chase, and it was like a murder mystery comedy. So I was like, this is like amazing that they got all of these people in on this joke of like Zoom calling with freaking Benoit Blanc playing Among Us. I thought it was like so well done. That really like got me into the movie again.
I also love that he was bad at it. Like
Exactly,
it was like,
yeah.
this is not my forte. This is not. What does he say? Like, I'm really bad at stupid things or something like that. Like,
which is foreshadowing as why he
sure.
took him so long to figure out the case, right?
But then he nailed the fake case.
Yes, of
instantly.
course.
Like in the first second.
This is gonna take us all weekend, and he gets it in like 60 seconds.
Oh, has it begun?
Yeah, that was also well
great.
done. Yeah.
I also like same scene. I loved because he's incredibly smart, but that doesn't make him necessarily personable. Where he's like, and then you're gonna win the game. He's like, oh, what did we win? He's like,
yeah.
What do you, like, you're already billionaires. What do you mean when you win? He's like, well, like, I just assumed there'd be a prize, like an iPad or something. All right, fine, you can win an iPad. And he's just like, he's so embarrassed. I'm like, I feel you so hard right now. Like, because I would think the same thing. It's a game, you're gonna win something. But like in this group of people, like you're want for nothing. Like, what are you talking about? Sure, you can have an iPad.
10 minutes later where he throws the iPad at him, like, you won, great, whatever.
What are you doing here?
It was pretty funny. There's a lot of funny moments in this movie for sure.
So explain to me this, though, because Blanc comes in and he felt a little bit different from his character in the first movie. He felt a little bit more out of place and uncomfortable, a bit of a bumbling, not an idiot by any means, but because he's surrounded by idiots and he's a genius, he looked like the odd person out, and it was a little bit weird. So I loved everything that they did with him in the bathtub with his little weird hat on and all those things. But it was a bit jarring for me because in the first movie, he seemed like he had everything under control and was playing it real cool and knew what to do. And he knew it. He saw the blood on her shoe at the beginning of that movie and knew what was going on right from the start. And in this one, he also knew what was going on because they chose to come to the island to figure things out. And they didn't tell you that in the beginning either. But he didn't seem like he was in control this time. And was that because he was surrounded by morons and it was too hard and he was bad at stupid things, like he said?
I think there's a couple of things playing into this, and Will, you can correct me if I'm wrong or add to it. One, he's playing a character. Like, he knows he's not supposed to be there, but he's trying to pretend like he is trying to be there. So he's lying, which we don't necessarily do a whole lot of in the first movie. Okay. Two, the first movie, he's asked by the cops to be there to solve a murder mystery. This is his bread and butter. This is what he lives for. This is what he's there for. Whereas in this one, he's not asked to be there. Nobody has died. He doesn't really know what's going on. I mean, he does in the sense that he knows that Andy has already passed away and they're trying to figure out who killed her. But it's not the same thing as being on a crime scene with the murder investigation. There's the body, there's the cops. Like, he's out of his element. Three, he's also out of his element because he's surrounded by these uber rich douchebags who are just like opulence on opulence on opulence. And like, even though the guy was very rich in the first movie, it's a different level of wealth where it's like, it's still a house. It's still down the street. I can still drive there versus like, I'm going on a yacht. This guy just sprayed me with God knows what, the cure for COVID. We're getting on a yacht. We're going to this magical island. Like, it's so far out of his realm that I think he is just kind of taken aback to a certain extent. Now, he is playing a more eccentric character in this movie than in the first one. The whole bathtub scene, I think, speaks to that. So I get what you're saying. But I kind of give him a pass a little bit because he is so far out of his element on everything. Like, everything is just not him. But then when there is a murder mystery to be solved, he's on it pretty quick. Like the fake murder mystery, I mean. Like, he gets that one right away, clearly nails it. You can tell from the look on Ed Norton's face. Like,
which was an astounding scene. Edward Norton's reaction to that and the conversation afterwards, which, again, that was one of those moments that there was duality to it. You think they're talking about one thing, we flash back to it later. There's other things going on in that conversation that you don't realize. Yeah. Really cool. I definitely loved his reaction to it. But yeah, it was just a bit jarring for me, but all of that checks. I guess this was one of those things where my expectations got in the way of my viewing.
Yeah, the only thing I want to add is I think there's just more Benoit Blanc in this movie compared to the first because you're following kind of him as the protagonist until the reveal. So the first hour of the movie, he's kind of the one you're relating to.
Right.
And so we just learn more about him, more of his quirks, more of his kind of character than you do in the first one. In the first one, you just know he's this world-renowned investigator and he's there to do the job. And then you see how his mind works a little bit. And in this one, you actually get to know the person a little bit more. And so maybe that was too eccentric for you. I don't know. But I think that's why. It's just this script allows for more learning on who this character is and how they operate day to day.
I think it might have gone a little bit more smoothly for me if we had got to learn more about Janelle Monáe's character, whether it be Andy or her sister, whichever one, instead of Blanc carrying all the water of who are we following in the beginning, because it was a little bit different. You're right. In the first movie, he's sitting in the background, striking the key on the piano, being very subtle and in the background while we're getting to know the heroine of that film. And this one's different. And so it's not bad. It's just different. And like I said, I think my expectations have really gotten in the way of me enjoying this film to a higher degree.
That's fair.
You get to rate it after that? That was a pretty good little outro there.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Will?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. If you like what we do and you want to help support us, consider joining the Patreon. There's a link down below. Thank you to our producers, as well as our executive producers, Real Bubba Hotep and Dino, as well as our head writers, Elder JM990 and Miss Hillary. They help us choose our Patreon picks. And it sounds like this month we're going to be doing the Romeo and Juliet from the 90s with Claire Danes and Leonardo DiCaprio. Thank you all very much. This will get cut from the actual episode, but I do want to point out Windstorm114 has joined us at the producer level, which means he can now watch us do the watch parties along with us. Awesome. They just announced that the Whole Bloody Affair is coming to Kill Bill, and I know he wanted to join us for that when it comes out. So I will be hosting that watch party, even though we've already done the movies and we're not going to do a re-review of it. I do want to see it, and I'll do that with whoever wants to join me when it is available.
Sometime later this month or something that releases streaming.
Yeah, I put it on Discord. Give me half a second.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm sorry, what movie was that? I was reading chat.
The Whole Bloody Affair.
Oh,
yes. Digital on February 17th. So this week.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Tuesday or something. Very soon. Okay. So I'll be doing a watch party for that for anybody who wants to join along. Also, I meant to put a link to Discord at the beginning of this episode. That's just me failing. I'm going to throw a link to this Discord channel in real quick. And just before, again, this will all get taken out, so no real worries there.
No worries.
There's a link to the R Rating Discord. It is now free. It is not behind a paywall for Patreon. And in there is in the general section is a poll that you can join on to where you can pick 3 franchises. There are a lot of franchises coming to theaters this year, or the newest iteration of the movie franchises coming to theaters. We're not going to have the time or money to do all of them, because some of them are franchises we have not touched on. They've got 4 or 5 movies in them already. But let us know which franchise you would like us to touch on, and we'll do the top 3, at least as best as humanly possible. So head on over there, just join the Discord in general. But if you want to also hit the poll and say what you want us to see, currently we've got Evil Dead, Toy Story, Spider-Man, Avengers, Dune, Jumanji, Super Mario, and Mortal Kombat on that list, all with new movies and franchises coming out later this year. I am shocked and disappointed in all of you that Spider-Man only has 1 vote, and it's me.
That's fine. I voted.
I know you did, you jackass. No, that's fine. Everybody's allowed to vote for whatever they want. I know I'm going to be watching and probably reviewing Spider-Man either way. So great to talk about on the channel, but so be it.
So in that case, I assume it would just be the Tom Spider-Man franchise portion at this point, right?
Yeah, generally speaking, with the one exception being Evil Dead, we've been pretty good at just like keeping to one niche of a franchise if the franchise is larger than that. And honestly, with this Evil Dead movie coming out, which I didn't know was coming out, there might be a discussion to be had about breaking it into the Bruce Campbell trilogy versus the new trilogy.
New Age, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming this movie, I know nothing about this Evil Dead, assuming this movie does have to do with the last 2, which are only loosely connected to each other in the first place, whereas like the Evil Dead Bruce Campbell's are all like directly connected to each other.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Evil Dead is kind of a gimme because we've already hit the franchise, so we're gonna have to hit it pretty eventually, right? We're gonna have to hit it eventually. But
thanks, Run 7. You're the best.
We'll get it.
Run 7 just voted for Spider-Man. I don't know what else he did, but I'll take it. I'll like bullying you guys into watching Spider-Man. That's fine with me.
Evil Dead, Mortal Kombat, Spider-Man is what I voted for.
Oh,
I'm shocked.
right.
I'm happy and surprised that Mortal Kombat is getting the amount of love that it is, because I didn't love, but I did like the first one, and I am curious to watch the second one. And
Yes, it's a movie I watched for nostalgic purposes because I loved the video game so much. That video game franchise has a special place in my heart. I don't even like, there are so many editions of that game that I didn't even bother playing, but 1, 2, 3, and some of the newer releases like 11 and 10 and X or whatever, I don't know, fantastic, and just really enjoyed that. So the movie's just kind of it's something I like to watch
Just
because
for
I love
fun.
those characters.
Yeah.
Just for
Yeah.
fun, guilty pleasure kind of thing.
Absolutely. I own the first one, so I could easily do a watch party of that. The first one being the one from like 3 years ago, not the one from like 93.
Mhm.
But I've only seen it once, so I'm actually curious to rewatch it anyways. And now there's a sequel coming out. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll wait and we'll do that potentially. But anyways, Brian, not Will, the floor is yours.
All right, so I think that overall this is a great addition to the franchise. Like I said at length, my expectations got in the way of me enjoying this film a bit more than I could have. I think one of the lowest scoring factors for this was my fun factor, and that's just because I thought the movie was going to do some different things. Talking about it always helps me to understand the film better, and so that brings up my score of the director who wrote and directed the first film and wrote and directed this one. So, of course, the direction should be pretty similar to the last film, and so I do appreciate it. It's just different. It was different. Okay, it was different, and it's coming in at a 77 for me. I think the last one came in at 89. This was just not exactly what I was expecting, but still a very solid score. Very good. I'd recommend this. I would recommend watching any of these movies in any order. I'm probably going to say that for the next movie as well. You don't need to see the first one. And honestly, it's okay if you don't see the first one, because I think had I watched this one by itself, it might have even gotten a better score than what I'm giving it here.
I'm sorry, you said if you watched this one first, you might have gotten a better score?
Yeah, had I not had any expectations on it whatsoever, I think I might have just been able to enjoy it for what it was. But I was so just picking every word they said apart and waiting for it to have importance, and that's not how this one works.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right.
77, chat.
77. All right. I mentioned last week I liked Knives Out quite a bit, but this is not really my genre. Nothing has changed this week. It's still not my favorite genre, the whole whodunit thing. The movies where you know there's going to be a twist and it just kind of throws multiple twists at you along the way. I'd rather watch a good movie that also has a twist than a movie that you know is going to have a twist. I won't harp on that too much. We talked about that with Shutter Island and Knives Out, and now with Glass Onion. I think the cast in this one is absolutely phenomenal. They did do that thing that I was praising Knives Onion for not sexualizing Ana de Armas, and then this one they decided to sexualize all the female characters, which felt unnecessary, but also they're at a beach resort, so be it. But as far as the actual characters go, I thought they were all really fun to watch. Catherine Hahn especially is always a delight. Edward Norton is an amazing actor. Benoit Blanc, Daniel Craig, phenomenal job throughout this movie. I didn't like the mystery as much. I didn't like a lot of this as much, but I still found this movie pretty fun. And before the rewatch, I would have said I actually enjoyed this one more than Knives Out. After the rewatch, that's not true, but so about it. My score does drop a little bit, but not as much as Brian does. This one only goes down to a 69 for me. I still think this is very fun, very watchable. But again, this whole genre is just not really my speed. I didn't realize how prominently Mind the Gap was getting a space there.
Yeah, I like this movie. It was fun. I think it was fun. I think it was meant to be fun in a time, and maybe that's why it doesn't hold up maybe as much as Knives Out will, because this was made in a time where people weren't having fun and they were stuck indoors. And this movie kind of gave us a little escapism, and that was fun for the time. It's still a fun movie. It's still a smart take on murder mystery genres. It's still got a lot of fun tropes that it either throws out the window or goes full in on. But compared to the original, it does seem a little bit hollow, pun intended. Overall, I still think it's an 81 out of 100. I would watch this anytime or recommend it to anyone.
Very nice. All right. I have to do math. You guys do other stuff.
So I know you guys didn't like the hourly dong, but guess whose voice was the hourly dong? I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. It was a cameo voice in the first movie as well.
No idea.
It was Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No wonder. Okay.
Who was he in the first movie?
He was on the podcast. He was the podcast voice in the first movie that the sister was listening to. So he is in this movie as well.
I was wondering because when I look up stuff for Glass Onion Knives Out, it would show some pictures of Jordan Levitt. And I was like, why? And that's okay, that's why. So in the movie, I thought they said I had so-and-so record that specifically for me.
Yeah, I think it was... I don't know if they say who. I do recall that. I don't remember the name. But it is
maybe he had like a musician or a director record it or something. But sure. I don't know. Anyway,
and he also like says who wrote the mystery game at the beginning. Is like I paid whoever so and so, and that was the person who wrote Gone Girl or something as well, like a mystery writer, very prevalent. So that was kind of a fun throw in. Jeremy Renner Hot Sauce was kind of funny as well. There's like a lot of just like fun inserts. Again, what goes against it is that they're not all like super important to the plot or anything, but they're just kind of fun inserts. And I just feel like that's where this one leaned. And it doesn't hit for everybody coming from Knives Out, I don't think.
I'm sure there's a certain amount of people just wanting to be a part of the project. Like I just want to be in there. I just want to play. Let me in. But then at the same time, like now you can't have Jeremy Renner as an actor in a future movie. Right? Like that would be weird. Or like, I mean, not like you're likely to have. I mean, Hugh Grant could have been a character in one of these, and now it'd be weird. I mean, I guess they still could because he's his friend,
his partner,
or
yeah. I assume partner, but who knows? I also didn't mind Yo-Yo Ma at the beginning when they were like opening the boxes, and there was like the little music thing, and he was like explaining to them what the music thing was happening in the game. I was like, that's Yo-Yo Ma, I'm pretty sure. But I looked, I was absolutely it was. I was like, that's pretty funny. Like they did a lot of like little inside things like that I thought were really fun. And that kept me into it a lot more because it didn't have that immense detail to the plot itself as the first one, but still kept it light and fun for me.
I kept waiting for Batista to shoot his dick off, and it never happened. I just like, they're foreshadowing this. Look, even on the poster, it's right there. It's right there pointed at his crotch, and I just kept waiting for something like that to happen. It never did.
Well, the gun was important for a different reason, of course.
But still, you know what? I really liked Batista's character, and I thought Batista did such a good job in playing his character, playing the character he says, I'll do it. I'll be the bad guy. I'll break the news to her. And he just throws it in her face, not knowing that's what she wanted, was to lose a fight so she could storm off. Mm-hmm. I thought his performance was fantastic. Probably one of the top 3 performances in this film. So it really,
he was good. But I think his character had a little bit more to it, which helped.
Yes, his character had the most depth with multiple flips of why he was out there watching his girlfriend out through the window, things like that. Lots of stuff going on there. Shows him the phone and says, yeah, let's talk about some numbers. Exactly. All sorts of stuff going on with his character. And then, of course, he's the one who gets murdered. You know, we have a second murder on the island now. So lots of stuff happening there. Just really, really good. And Batista wasn't somebody I was expecting to really throw down those acting chops, but he did. He brought it and definitely raised him, in my opinion, a notch or two.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, as far as pro wrestlers turned actor, I'd have to say he's probably one of the best, if not the best.
Absolute success story there, yeah, for real.
Right? Like,
yep.
Guardians.
I remember him from the Expendables, and thinking he's a pretty good side character in this movie. I hope he goes on to do other action flicks, never imagining he could pull off this level of a film with this intricate of storytelling and plots and turns of events. Really, really good. So I'm happy with that.
All right, let's jump to the rating and then we can wrap up.
What's up, Claudel Maxwell?
Welcome in.
Appreciate you stopping, Silent High. And with that, we see Knives Out drop a little bit, but stay in the second place position or tied for second place now with the Dollars Trilogy. Came down a few points for each one of us, but honestly, still holding in pretty well there. None of us have seen Wake Up Dead Man, the brand new one. So there's no prediction that I've got for whether or not this will climb back up or drop further, other than just wild speculation, which is to say, I hope it goes up. I hope Wake Up Dead Man surprises us in a very pleasant way. What do you guys think?
We always look forward to movies being good. We always want the movie to entertain and be a delight, right? What kind of surprises me is that, Dan, like you, whodunits aren't my forte. I don't have anything against them. I enjoy them. But it's not like something that I would, if somebody said, what kind of movie do you like? This wouldn't even come to mind, to tell you the truth. But I think back and I do enjoy movies like this. So it's kind of funny that this is so high on our list above such beloved franchises to myself as the Predator and Aliens franchise, Mad Max, those things, just beating it hands down. So interested to see where it goes. And I would say that this franchise, like I said to the first movie, this franchise is looking like it is an underrated franchise in general.
It is worth mentioning we've only reviewed 2 Knives Out movies, whereas some of the franchises you named have 7 or 8 movies in them.
Lots of time, lots of room for flops. Yeah.
If we were to take the Alien or the Predator franchise and choose our favorite 2, I think they would beat this franchise.
Right.
But you get a lot of slop in there and it drags it down.
I'd also like to point out that all 3 Knives Out movies, and this is always a good sign, same writer, same director. Mm-hmm. So, the quality should stay about the same. We've seen good work from him. So going forward, you can only assume that it should still be pretty quality. Whereas when you get into, those other franchises that have 7 movies, it's different writers, different directors all over the place. And that can really be a detriment, or it can be a great refresher. But a lot of times there's a dud somewhere along the way when that happens.
No, I haven't looked into the next movie, but Will, do you know, is it another all-star smash cast?
I haven't actually seen a whole lot about it either. I'm just still refreshed that we're getting original works, not just reboots or remakes or rehashes of the same things. So I'm just excited that things like this are being created and in a quality way. So I'm just happy and looking forward to the next one still, even though this one dipped slightly from the first.
But for all of us, a relatively slight dip. I guess Brian's score.
I barely even call this a dip, really. I'd just say it's a solid sequel. I wouldn't even tell people that it's worse. I just say it's a solid sequel because as sequels go, they're almost never as good or better than the original. So for this to be so close to the original, good on you.
I also think. No, that's fine. That can be a good out. I just wanted to add one last thing as well, is that the beauty of the Knives Out franchise is that they are individual stories. And like Brian said, you could watch this one first, you could watch the other one first. It doesn't matter because they're contained little units, whereas a lot of sequels and franchises want to build off of other stories that have already happened. That's not necessarily the case in this. They're all just their own cases to be solved. And I think that's a benefit to a franchise as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that there is no reference to Knives Out necessarily.
Yeah.
You don't have to know anything from Knives Out to get this story.
Yeah.
And I hope that they don't on the 7th movie we're going to bring back all the characters or one person from each or something stupid. No, just leave them as individual things. I think that's for the best.
Well, and we've talked about this before with other franchises. Take the Predator, for example. if you were to take the Predator, just the Predator, and put him in a completely different environment with a completely new setting, a completely new plot, and watch how it unfolds, I would enjoy that. I don't need a super Predator, Predator dogs, or anything fancy. I don't need to combine Predators and aliens or anything. I just want to see that character tell a new story. And in this, we have Blanc in a new story. And it worked. It's great.
You just described my favorite Predator movie. It's literally just taking the Predator, putting it 200 years in the past or 400 years in the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
just
I like Prey. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Like that's all I'm asking for. Just show me that against different opponents with different weapons. I'm good. All right. That's our rating of Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. But what's yours? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. We record this every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/The Mongoolie Show. So you can head over there and hit the follow button. Or if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons so that we see you in the next one. Cool. Sorry, chat. There's a lot of people coming in saying hi. We do tend to ignore you a little bit while we're recording. I do apologize for that, but I do want to make sure that you know that we read most of what you guys say, at least. Chat was very active today for a little while there, so I was kind of catching little bits and pieces. Just because I do want to make sure that I'm paying attention to what Will and Brian are saying so I can respond semi-intelligently to them as opposed to what's going on in chat. But I do try to read what chat is saying as well. So I do want to thank you for that. Also, we've had a couple of people join the Discord while we were live, so I do appreciate you doing that. Everybody. Hopefully looks like there's quite a few more votes going on, which I love to see. The poll is up for another 4 days, so get out there, get your voice heard, and we will do the top 3 movies. Right now, it's looking like it is Dune, Jumanji, and Mortal Kombat. I gotta say, I am not sad about that. Although I am kind of shocked for the love of the Jumanji. Yeah. The love of the Jumanji series, so that's cool. Now, out of curiosity, I was thinking originally we'd just do the Rock ones, or however you want to like the new ones.
Yeah, but there's only one other, isn't there?
There's only one other, and they do tie back to it.
They do, yeah.
So I think we start at the beginning.
Don't spoil them. I've only seen the first one with Williams.
It ties.
Oh, interesting.
Well, all right then. I thought you only saw the first one with the Rock, but yeah, okay. If you've only seen. I don't think anything I said was even close to a spoiler.
Just Robin Williams was the only one I saw.
I think it's fine to do the whole kit and caboodle on that one.
I'm good with that.
It's only one more movie. It's nothing.
Yeah. All right, guys. I love you all. This has been fun. I am actually the one with the heart out today because as I said, I recorded those 3 videos, so I want to get to editing those and still get to bed at a relatively decent time. So I'm going to rate out pretty quickly. Brian, you staying live for a bit, or you heading out as well?
No, I'm gonna wrap things up. My kids haven't gone to bed and they're supposed to be, so I gotta go whoop their butts and get them in bed.
All right.
No, that's not true. I just say that to scare them.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think any of us were calling CAS
before you go. What do you think? I was kind of thinking about after you do your intro. I would say, Dan, you forgot the best part once again, and then I explain the board and the rating, and that happens at the end, something like that.
I'm not sad about that.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Come back to us next week, whether you want to do a video or do it live. I'm good with either one. Would you be before I do the intro or after I do the intro? Or
after you do the intro, when you zoom out, I'd be like, Dan, dang it, you did it again. You forgot to tell him. And then you zoom in on me, and then I would explain, we do this thing, or something like that. I'd like to, because then it's Will, you, me, and then we start, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Something like that. Good. I'll keep thinking it over, but I would rather it be just live and off the cuff, a little bit more fluent. You guys are doing your thing live. I don't want to record it.
Sounds good. I'm going to send you all off to Zero Justice. He's a good dude. We played Scamline with him the other day. He's been a big supporter of the channel for a little while now. We ran into him randomly while playing Dead by Daylight months ago, and he's been a good friend ever since. He actually 3D printed something and sent it to me a while ago, which was very cool of him. So go enjoy him. Give him a follow. Give him a raid. Give him some love, whatever you want to do. He's playing Risk of Rain 2. I have no idea what that is.
It's supposed to be really good, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Good things, yeah.
I didn't hit the raid button until Brian was done talking, so I had to kill time for a little bit, but we're good now. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.